Hi, my name is Lizelle, and I'm going to be talking about the Freedom Narcotics Anonymous group that I went to at the VA on October 2nd. The group involved a bunch of diverse people ranging from veterans to the civilians, and both men and women dealing with addictions. Overall, my experience was very insightful. Many of the participants of this group still struggle on a daily basis with addiction because you never know what life is going to throw at you. And they, in the past, have turned to drugs to deal with their problems, but now, doing this group and becoming clean, they are choosing different avenues. And I will go into more detail about that later on in this video. Prior to going to this meeting, I thought it was just going to be like the other Alcoholics Anonymous group that I went to, that they would be sharing their stories about how they were becoming clean and just offering insight to the other participants in the group. What I experienced during my meetings was that these people in this Narcotics Anonymous group were very welcoming, very open, and very accepting of everyone who came in. Every person that came in through those doors, they ended up giving a hug to, including myself, which was a little nerve-wracking for me because I'm not much of a touchy-feely person. But they also spoke about their experience of dealing with addictions. But what they really talked about and what made this group really special is how they leaned upon each other to help support staying clean. They just didn't go to their sponsor about talking to their issues. They had each other's numbers. They were very close and talked about each person's day-to-day life. And I thought that was really special that they had this support group. And my thought process changed because of how I saw these people interacting with each other. They didn't look at each other as just a group that they were going to go to once, maybe twice a week, rather than just dealing with their addiction, and they didn't just want to deal with their addiction on their own. It was great because they had that support system to help them through their difficult times, and I believe that more people in this world need a support system like that, that if they are having that difficult time, to pick up the phone and be like, this is what's going on with me, can you talk with me through this hard time? And I believe the world would be a much better place and a much happier place if they had things like that. And sometimes they still slip, but they are making those proactive steps to not try to slip. So the theoretical material that they really talked about during this group was they focused on step 2 of the NA steps. And that step is, we came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. And they really talked about how prior to their lives they just focused on who they were and what they wanted to do. And once they gave up those reins to a higher power, whatever higher power that is, that they started seeing a change and seeing a difference in their lives, that they had something bigger and greater to live for. And not everyone believed in God. Not everyone had specific names for what their higher power was. But what was great about this group is that they didn't judge, and they were accepting of whatever you had believed in. And these higher powers can help them make better decisions and to stay away from the drugs that they had been previously taking. And I thought that was really great, that how accepting they were, and that ties into how they were accepting prior to what I had priorly talked about. A specific client that I was really drawn towards, and it really emphasized this part about being a support system for one another, was this client that was actively dealing with many hard troubles in his life, that he had no idea what he wanted to do about it, and he, I guess, was new to Des Moines and didn't feel like he had a support system, that this Narcotics Anonymous group was one of his few support systems that he had in his life. And all these troubles and problems were coming up, and he wanted to turn to drugs, and he wanted to become actively using again. And what I thought was great about that was that, not great about using drugs, but what happened was he ended up closing himself off to his support system, to his friends here in Des Moines, and he was wanting to revert to his old habits. And what that I thought was great was that the support system that he had built through Narcotics Anonymous turned to him, called him up, and said, "Hey, we haven't heard from you in a week. How are you doing? What's going on? What can we do to help you?" And he was telling him, "I want to use, I want to run away from Des Moines, I want to run away from my problems." And the way that I used to do that would be getting up and moving and using drugs. And the support group that he had told him, "No, let's not run away from these problems. Let's instead go to this different support group. And you can talk about it, because you need to immediately talk to people and go through this with someone." And the support group that he had gone to was talking and dealing with the specific issues that he had been going through with his life during that time. And I thought that was amazing, because he was like, my higher power knew that I needed that support group. My higher power knew that I needed people to come and help me out during this time. And it restored his faith in his higher power, and it made him believe that this support group wasn't just a group that he came to talk to once or twice a week, that it was a group of people, it was a family that cared about him and cared about his recovery and staying clean. So what he learned was, rather than turning to drugs, that he now can pick up the phone and call these people that he calls friends and family to talk about his problems and discuss solutions with each other. And I thought that was a really great moving experience, and it really drove home to me and all the other people there that there is people in your life that care about you, and it is important to talk to them at all costs when things are going wrong, because they love you, they care about you, and they want the best for you. Going to NA will change my nursing practice because I see the importance of the support groups for these families, for my future patients, and what they can bring to it. And I don't want to offend anybody in my future. I want to help out the patient. So if they want to come in and talk to the patient and go through and pray with them, I'm not going to step on any of their toes. I want to give them the space and the respect that they deserve to help them heal mentally, to go through the hard processes that they will be going through. And I also, as a nurse, I want to be able to offer any support systems that we can. So whether that be the ministry or having your priest or pastor come into the hospital to talk to you, I want to offer those services for them. And I think that offering that up will be a good way, because maybe they didn't think about that. Maybe they couldn't turn to anybody, and maybe this is their way to turn to someone and talk through their problems. I thought this NA meeting was very insightful. I thought it was great. And I really do believe that everyone in this world needs that support group to better themselves. And I hope everyone in this world has that, because going through life on your own is just difficult. Thank you so much.